Hola, querida comunidad de YouTube. Bienvenidos una vez más a nuestro canal, donde las historias más fascinantes de ingenio humano y sabiduría práctica cobran vida ante vuestros ojos. Soy vuestro narrador de confianza y hoy tengo preparada para vosotros una historia que os dejará reflexionando sobre el poder de la planificación inteligente y la importancia de pensar más allá de las soluciones convencionales. ¿Habéis experimentado alguna vez esa frustración de tener una idea práctica y sólida, mientras todos a vuestro alrededor la consideran una exageración innecesaria? ¿Habéis sentido la soledad de ser los únicos que veis las ventajas evidentes de una solución preventiva que otros descartan como exceso de precaución? La historia que estáis a punto de escuchar trata exactamente de eso. Es la narrativa extraordinaria de un hombre previsor, que transformó la protección de sus recursos vitales con un método tan simple como revolucionario, enfrentando las burlas de toda su comunidad hasta que la realidad demostró la genialidad de su preparación aparentemente exagerada. Esta es una historia real que ocurrió en las montañas de Palencia, España, donde los inviernos son implacables, y donde la planificación inteligente puede significar la diferencia entre pasar el invierno cómodamente o enfrentar una crisis que podría poner en peligro la supervivencia familiar. Nuestro protagonista desafió todas las normas sobre almacenamiento de combustible con una técnica tan ingeniosa como efectiva, que cambiaría para siempre la forma en que su comunidad entendía la preparación invernal. Antes de sumergirnos en esta increíble historia de previsión y triunfo logístico, no olvidéis darle like a este video si queréis más contenido como este. Suscribíos al canal y activad la campanita de notificaciones para no perderos ninguna de nuestras fascinantes historias. Y por favor, decidme en los comentarios desde qué país y ciudad nos estáis viendo. Me encanta conocer a nuestra maravillosa audiencia internacional. Sin más demora, acompañadme en este viaje extraordinario donde descubriremos cómo un cobertizo aparentemente exagerado puede mantener seca la leña durante todo un invierno brutal. Párrafo 1. Aurelio Martínez Herrero había vivido toda su vida en el pequeño pueblo de Cervera de Pisuerga, enclavado en las montañas palentinas, donde las precipitaciones invernales podían acumular hasta 2 metros de nieve, y donde las lluvias otoñales se extendían durante semanas continuas, creando condiciones de humedad extrema que representaban un desafío constante para cualquier familia que dependiera de leña como fuente principal de calefacción durante los largos meses fríos que caracterizaban la vida en altitudes elevadas de la cordillera cantábrica. A sus 58 años, Aurelio era conocido en toda la comarca como el preparacionista obsesivo, un apodo que había ganado no por paranoia, sino por su dedicación extraordinaria a anticipar y prevenir problemas que pudieran afectar la supervivencia y comodidad de su familia durante las condiciones climáticas extremas que regularmente azotaban su región montañosa. Su propiedad, heredada de su abuelo y ubicada en las afueras del pueblo, incluía 3 hectáreas de bosque mixto que proporcionaba una fuente abundante de leña, pero que también presentaba desafíos logísticos significativos para almacenar y mantener seco el combustible que su familia necesitaría durante cada invierno que podía extenderse desde octubre hasta abril, con condiciones que hacían imposible la recolección o el secado de madera fresca. Durante décadas de experiencia con inviernos palentinos, Aurelio había observado un patrón recurring que afectaba a prácticamente todas las familias de la región. Durante otoños húmedos que precedían inviernos severos, la leña almacenada en cobertizos tradicionales, garajes o estructuras de protección convencionales se impregnaba gradualmente de humedad que reducía dramáticamente su eficiencia combustible y que frecuentemente resultaba en problemas de calefacción durante los periodos más críticos del invierno, cuando las temperaturas descendían a sus niveles más bajos y cuando el calor adecuado era absolutamente esencial para la supervivencia familiar. Aurelio había calculado que leña húmeda proporcionaba aproximadamente 40-50% menos calor que madera completamente seca, lo que significaba que familias que no protegían adecuadamente sus reservas de combustible tenían que usar casi el doble de leña para lograr el mismo nivel de calefacción, un desperdicio que no solo representaba costos económicos significativos, sino también trabajo adicional enormous en cutting, splitting y holing, que consumía tiempo y energía que podrían ser utilizados más productivamente durante los meses de preparación limitados que precedían cada temporada invernal. La inspiración específica para su proyecto más ambicioso surgió durante el otoño particularmente lluvioso de 2019, cuando precipitaciones continuas durante 6 semanas consecutivas habían saturado completamente la región, y cuando Aurelio observó que incluso leña que había been stored en estructuras que previously había considered adequate, estaba developing moisture content que would compromise significantly su performance durante winter months ahead. Durante sus rutinas daily de inspección de su stored firewood, había noticed que traditional storage methods, incluso those que included roofs y walls, were allowing moisture infiltration through gaps, seams, y areas onde wind-driven rain could penetrate protective barriers que had been designed primarily para protect against direct precipitation, rather than extended exposure a high humidity conditions que characterized mountain weather during transitional seasons. Aurelio began to realize that conventional wisdom about firewood storage was fundamentally inadequate para las extreme conditions que characterize su regional climate, y que effective protection would require approach mucho más comprehensive que simply providing cover desde above. Cuando Aurelio shared esta realization con su wife Elena y sus neighbors más cercanos, he encountered reactions que ranged desde gentle concern about excessive worry sobre firewood, a open ridicule about what many perceived como complete overreaction, a normal challenges de rural living, que everyone en la región faced, y managed adequately using traditional methods que had been sufficient para previous generations. Elena expressed specific concerns about aesthetic impact to whatever elaborate structure Aurelio was envisioning, fearing que su tendency toward over-engineering simple problems might result in construction that would make their property look like commercial lumberyard rather que residential homestead. Neighbors en el pueblo, led por local businessman Ricardo Gómez, expressed skepticism sobre necessity para extraordinary measures para firewood storage, arguing que traditional lean-tos y simple sheds had been adequate para families en la región durante décadas, y que Aurelio's concerns represented unnecessary anxiety sobre problems that could be managed effectively through conventional approaches that didn't require major construction projects or significant investment in materials y labor. Aurelio, Ricardo declared durante conversation in local bar que was witnessed por multiple residents. You're overthinking esto. Everyone keeps firewood dry enough para winter using normal methods. You don't need a build fortress para protect wood desde rain. However, Aurelio, armed con decades de experience con unpredictable mountain weather y deep understanding de how moisture affected combustion efficiency, decided to proceed con su experiment, convinced que superior protection would provide benefits durante severe weather events, que could make difference entre comfortable survival a emergency situations, and adequate heating could become literally matter de life y death para su family durante extreme winter conditions. Párrafo 2. La fase de planning y design se extendió durante 4 intensive months, desde octubre 2019 hasta January 2020, durante which Aurelio transformed su modest workshop into engineering laboratory, donde desarrolló detailed blueprints, calculated structural specifications, y designed integrated systems de moisture control, ventilation, y access que would optimize protection para su firewood while ensuring que storage facility could be maintained efficiently durante años de operation bajo conditions que included not only direct weather exposure, sino también seasonal ground moisture, temperature fluctuations, wind patterns, could affect internal humidity levels even in well-constructed buildings. Aurelio had determined que effective firewood storage en su climate required more que simple roof y walls. It demanded comprehensive moisture management system que could maintain optimal humidity levels dentro the storage area, regardless the external weather conditions que could persist for weeks or months durante transitional seasons, on the precipitation y humidity were highest. El design final que Aurelio developed was revolutionary in su application de building science principles a residential firewood storage, creating structure que would function essentially como climate-controlled warehouse, specifically optimized para maintaining optimal moisture content and stored wood while providing easy access para daily use durante winter months. On convenience, high efficiency would be critical para maintaining heating routines que could not be interrupted por weather-related complications. Su proposed building would measure approximately 12 meters por 8 meters con height de 4 meters, providing storage capacity para approximately 25 cubic meters de firewood, sufficient para 2 complete winters even bajo worst-case scenarios, donde increased consumption might result desde extended cold periods, or reduced efficiency due a unforeseen complications con heating systems. The structure would incorporate advanced ventilation systems que would promote air circulation adequate para preventing mold y insect infestation, while maintaining humidity levels optimal para combustion, moisture barriers que would prevent ground humidity desde affecting stored wood, y access systems que would allow efficient loading, organization, y retrieval de firewood durante all-weather conditions. Construction methodology que Aurelio planned would utilize combination de traditional building techniques con modern materials, specifically chosen para maximum durability y moisture resistance, bajo extreme conditions que characterize su mountain environment. Foundation would consist de reinforced concrete que would provide complete moisture barrier between stored wood and ground humidity. Que could affect lower layers de firewood stack during periods de high water table o snowmelt. Walls would incorporate double-layer construction con moisture barriers, insulation para temperature stabilization, y ventilation gaps que would promote air circulation while preventing direct moisture infiltration. Roof system would include not only complete waterproofing, sino también advanced drainage que would handle extreme snow loads y rapid melting. Que could overwhelm conventional guttering systems durante spring transitions on accumulated winter precipitation released rapidly durante warming periods. El aspecto most innovative de Aurelio's design was su integration de passive environmental control systems que would maintain optimal storage conditions sin requiring external energy input que could fail during power outages que frequently affected su remote location during severe weather events. Ventilation system would utilize natural convection to promote air movement, que would prevent stagnation while maintaining relative humidity levels optimal para long-term wood storage. Temperature moderation would result desde thermal mass incorporated into foundation YY walls, que would buffer against extreme temperature fluctuations, que could cause condensation problems durante rapid weather changes. Access system would include multiple entry points, que would allow efficient organization to firewood por age, type, y intended use, while maintaining weather seals que could protect interior desde storm conditions, que might persist para days or weeks durante severe weather events que were becoming more frequent y unpredictable due to climate changes affecting traditional weather patterns en su mountain region. Párrafo 3. Construction de la Comprehensive Firewood Storage Facility comenzó during first week de February 2020, cuando winter weather patterns provided brief respite desde snow y freezing temperatures que would complicate foundation work. Y concrete pouring required para establishing moisture barriers y structural supports que were essential para long-term performance the system que Aurelio had designed tan meticulously durante months de planning y technical research. El proceso de excavation required considerable effort debido a rocky soil conditions typical de mountain terrain, combined con complications resultantes desde frozen ground, que had to be thawed using controlled heating techniques. And as the normal excavation equipment could function effectively, para creating foundation trenches que would provide adequate depth para frost protection y moisture control, que were critical para preventing ground humidity desde affecting stored firewood durante extended periods de high water table que could result desde spring snowmelt to extended precipitation periods. Aurelio había developed specialized construction techniques que accommodated unique challenges de building en su mountain environment mientras ensuring que final structure would meet exacting specifications required para optimal firewood storage bajo extreme conditions. Foundation work included not only standard concrete footings, sino también comprehensive moisture barrier systems que extended above ground level, prevent capillary action, desde drawing ground moisture into walls que would eventually affect humidity levels dentro de storage area. Concrete work had to be performed during brief weather windows onde temperatures were adequate para proper curing, requiring careful timing with protection measures que ensured structural integrity would not be compromised por freeze-thaw cycles que could damage improperly cured concrete durante subsequent winter weather. Installation de vapor barriers, drainage systems, moisture control features required precision considerably greater que typical residential construction, debido a critical importance to maintaining optimal humidity levels para firewood storage application, and even minor moisture infiltration could compromise effectiveness the entire system. Framing y structural work presented challenges relacionados a both engineering requirements y logistical complications de working durante unpredictable mountain weather que frequently interrupted construction schedule, con periods de snow, rain, o wind que made safe work impossible con tools y materials que were being utilized para precise construction required por sophisticated design que Aurelio had developed. Each structural member had a be-positioned con precision que would ensure proper load distribution para heavy snow loads que could accumulate durante severe winter storms, while también maintaining exact spacing required para ventilation system que would control air circulation patterns critical para moisture management. Installation de wall systems required coordination de multiple layers, including structural sheathing, moisture barriers, insulation, ventilation gaps, exterior weather protection que had to be integrated perfectly to achieve performance specifications que would maintain optimal storage environment regardless the external weather conditions que could affect menos sophisticated storage systems. Durante 6 months que required complete construction de facility, las reactions del neighborhood escalated desde casual amusement hacia serious concern. Como residents del pueblo began to recognize que Aurelio estaba building something significantly more substantial y visible que typical storage shed, structure que obviously represented major investment in time, materials, the effort que seemed disproportionate for a simple firewood storage application. Carmen Lopez, qui owned adjacent property, visited construction site A, expressed concern sobre potential impact on property values que might result desde having commercial-scale storage building constructed in residential area, and aesthetic considerations had traditionally been important para maintaining character de rural community. Local building inspector had a be consulted ensure que structure met safety codes y zoning requirements. Process que required detailed explanation the intended use y construction methods que satisfied authorities. Que building was legitimate residential outbuilding rather que commercial facility que might require different permits or create complications related to business use and residential zone. Párrafo 4. Completion de comprehensive firewood storage facility coincided perfectly con arrival de autumn de 2020. Cuando weather patterns began shifting toward winter conditions que would provide ultimate test the effectiveness del elaborate system que Aurelio had constructed con such meticulous attention, every detail que could influence moisture protection during extended periods, the challenging weather conditions que caracterizaban late fall y winter seasons en su mountain region. El moment de truth came durante first major storm system, the season, extended period de wind-driven rain, que persisted para 4 consecutive days, mientras testing limits de moisture protection systems que conventional storage methods utilized throughout la community. Durante esta critical testing period, Aurelio monitored carefully humidity levels dentro de su storage facility, usando professional-grade instruments que could detect subtle changes in moisture content que might indicate infiltration problems antes de they became serious enough to affect firewood quality. Results del initial severe weather test exceeded even optimistic expectations que Aurelio had developed durante months de planning y construction. Durante peak de storm, mientras external humidity reached saturation y conventional storage areas throughout el pueblo were experiencing significant moisture infiltration Interior de Aurelio's facility maintained stable humidity levels que remained within optimal range para firewood storage. More impressive, measurements taken durante y after storm revealed que humidity levels dentro de facility actually decreased slightly durante height de external precipitation debido a effective operation de ventilation system que continued promoting air circulation que removed any moisture que might have entered through microscopic gaps or temporary pressure differentials que could affect even well-sealed buildings. Durante extreme weather conditions, firewood stored dentro de facility maintained moisture content que was optimal para efficient combustion, contrasting dramatically con deteriorating conditions de firewood stored using conventional methods que was absorbing moisture desde high humidity air que characterized extended storm periods. Most significant validation of system effectiveness came durante winter de 2020-2021. Cuando weather patterns included extended periods to precipitation, followed by rapid temperature fluctuations que created challenging conditions para maintaining firewood quality, usando traditional storage methods que had been adequate durante previous years con more predictable weather patterns. Durante consecutive storms que delivered both rain y snow durante alternating periods, humidity levels in conventional storage areas fluctuated dramatically, often reaching levels que compromised combustion efficiency. I required families to use significantly more firewood para achieve adequate heating. Throughout mismo period, Aurelio's storage facility maintained consistent internal environment que kept stored firewood in optimal condition para efficient burning, eliminating waste related to moisture content y ensuring que heating system operated at maximum efficiency during periods donde reliable heating was most critical para family comfort y safety durante extended cold periods. Elena, que had initially been skeptical about necessity para such elaborate firewood storage, experienced first-hand benefits to system durante her daily firewood retrieval routines, on she could access consistently dry, high-quality fuel, regardless the external weather conditions que frequently made outdoor activities challenging and unpleasant. Aurelio, she admitted durante midwinter interview con local newspaper reporter que was documenting performance the unusual storage system, I have a confess que your firewood building works exactly como you promised. Even durante worst storms, I can get perfectly dry wood easily. Y nuestro heating system works mucho better que in previous years, cuando we struggled con wet wood que wouldn't burn properly. Elena's testimonial reflected broader transformation in attitudes throughout household que had initially viewed project como excessive, pero que now recognized practical value de having reliable access a optimal firewood, regardless de weather conditions que could affect lesser storage systems. Párrafo 5. Durante spring de 2021, como weather conditions improved, community members had opportunity assess results the extraordinary winter que had tested all aspects to residential heating and fuel storage systems. Word, the exceptional performance de Aurelio's firewood storage facility spread rapidly through neighboring communities. Donde families had struggled con moisture-related problems que had affected their heating efficiency y comfort durante challenging weather conditions que seemed to be becoming more frequent y severe cada year. Visits desde curious neighbors y residents desde other villages became regular occurrence como people sought to understand how Aurelio had achieved such remarkable protection para su firewood, while they had experienced difficulties con traditional methods que had been considered adequate para previous generations, living in same climatic conditions, con similar challenges related a moisture control. Durante extended periods de adverse weather, professional recognition de Aurelio's achievement came cuando local forestry extension agent Maria Gonzalez visited facility to document construction methods and performance results que could potentially be shared con other rural communities throughout la región que faced similar challenges related to firewood storage bajo mountain weather conditions que were becoming increasingly unpredictable debido a climate change affecting traditional seasonal patterns. Maria's detailed evaluation confirmed que Aurelio had achieved firewood moisture content consistency que was superior a anything she had observed durante her extensive experience trabajando con forest products y rural heating systems throughout mountain communities de northern Spain. Señor Martinez has developed what amounts a professional-grade lumber drying facility adapted para residential firewood storage. She explained durante presentation de her findings, a regional forestry association meeting. His moisture content readings were consistently optimal throughout entire winter, whereas conventional storage methods in same climatic area showed significant moisture absorption, could reduce heating efficiency for approximately 30–40% durante periods de high humidity. Economic benefits de Aurelio's system were documented systematically durante first full year de operation, revealing savings que extended far beyond simple fuel conservation. Include reduced labor related a wood processing, improved heating system efficiency, elimination de emergency fuel purchases que families sometimes required durante winters, onde stored firewood became unusable debido a moisture problems que could develop during extended periods de challenging weather. Aurelio calculated que his firewood consumption was approximately 35% lower que durante previous years con same heating requirements. Reduction que resulted directly desde consistent optimal moisture content que provided maximum heat output per unit de wood burned. Additionally, heating system itself operated more efficiently con consistently dry fuel, requiring less maintenance producing less creosote buildup, que could create safety hazards reduce system performance over time. Construction costs para facility had totaled approximately €3,200 in materials plus Aurelio's labor durante 6 months de construction, investment que was being recovered rapidly through fuel savings, reduced maintenance costs, elimination de weather-related heating problems que had previously created expense inconvenience durante challenging winter conditions. More importantly, system provided security reliability que could not be quantified economically, pero que represented significant improvement in quality de vida related a peace de mind during severe weather, cuando reliable heating could become critical para family safety comfort. Money is only part the value, Aurelio explained durante interview con regional newspaper, que was documenting innovative approaches, rural heating challenges. Knowing que my family will have excellent fuel regardless de what weather winter brings us. Eso is worth mucho más que whatever costs were involved in building proper storage facility que works cuando we need it most. Párrafo 6, second winter de operation. Durante 2021–2022, provided definitive validation de durability consistent performance the system que Aurelio had developed, demonstrating que su comprehensive approach could maintain exceptional firewood protection, not only durante initial year de operation, sino también durante long-term use, que included exposure a full range de weather conditions que characterize mountain climates, desde extreme cold periods hasta periods de rapid temperature change, que could create condensation problems even in well-designed storage systems. Durante a particularly challenging weather sequence, in January, onde temperatures fluctuated rapidly between freezing and above freezing conditions, mientras precipitation alternated between snow, sleet, and rain durante extended period que lasted more than 2 weeks. Facility maintained stable internal environment que protected stored firewood desde humidity problems que affected conventional storage throughout la community. Durante mismo challenging period, multiple families throughout Pueblo experienced significant problems con firewood quality debido a moisture infiltration in their storage areas que resulted desde extreme weather conditions que exceeded capacity de conventional protection methods to maintain adequate moisture control. Several neighbors approached Aurelio seeking emergency access to dry firewood, cuando their own supplies became compromised por weather-related moisture problems, que made effective heating impossible, using fuel que had become too wet para efficient combustion. Aurelio's facility provided community resource durante emergency conditions, pero más importantly, demonstrated practical value de comprehensive moisture protection para residents, que were beginning to understand que traditional storage methods might be inadequate para weather patterns que were becoming more extreme y unpredictable cada year. Recognition de success de Aurelio's innovative storage system had reached provincial level cuando officials desde Diputación de Palencia, visited facility to evaluate potential para promoting similar construction and other rural communities throughout province, que faced comparable challenges, related a reliable fuel storage durante winter conditions, que could affect heating security para vulnerable populations including elderly residency families con limited resources para emergency heating alternatives. Provincial officials were particularly interested in cost effectiveness. The system related to both construction requirements and long-term operational benefits, could be achieved using readily available materials while construction techniques, could be implemented for local contractors, without requiring specialized expertise or expensive equipment might not be available in remote rural areas. Engineering evaluation commissioned for provincial government confirmed show Aurelio had achieved moisture control performance met professional standards para commercial lumber drying while using construction methods while materials were appropriate para residential applications available para implementation in rural communities throughout region. Dr. Carmen Rodriguez, specialist in building science desde Universidad de Valladolid, conducted detailed analysis de facility performance usando professional instrumentation que measured humidity, temperature, air circulation patterns की validated effectiveness de natural ventilation system CUS. Aurelio had designed intuitively pero que incorporated sophisticated understanding de airflow dynamics que typically required formal engineering education to implement successfully. Senor Martinez has achieved through practical innovation what commercial facility designers accomplish using expensive equipment and complex controls, Dr. Rodriguez declared durante presentation de her research findings. His natural ventilation system maintains optimal storage conditions more consistently, que many commercial operations could depend on mechanical equipment que can fail durante power outages or extreme weather. Párrafo 7. Success de Aurelio's project had begun to influence municipal policies cuando Ayuntamiento de Cervera de Pisuerga began developing guidelines que would encourage residents to implement improved firewood storage systems que could enhance community resilience durante extreme weather events que were affecting traditional heating methods, creating emergency situations durante severe winters. Tested adequacy de conventional fuel preparation techniques. Mayor Luis Garcia announced durante municipal council meeting que community had learned valuable lessons desde Aurelio's experience que demonstrated how individual preparation could contribute to overall community security durante weather emergencies que affected multiple families simultaneously, cuando traditional heating methods proved inadequate para maintaining safety and comfort durante extended periods de adverse conditions. During winter de 2022-2023, que brought record snowfalls and extended periods de below freezing temperatures que challenged all heating systems throughout region, Aurelio's facility again demonstrated superior performance que provided his family con reliable fuel source whilst many neighbors struggled, con moisture compromised firewood que required supplementation, con purchased heating oil or emergency assistance. Desde community support systems que had been established to help residents durante heating emergencies. Performance comparison between Aurelio's stored firewood and conventional storage methods throughout community provided clear documentation. The benefits could be achieved through comprehensive moisture protection que went beyond traditional approaches que had been considered adequate durante less challenging weather conditions que characterized previous decades. Professional interest in Aurelio's techniques had expanded to include academic research, cuando Universidad de León established collaborative study, que would document effectiveness the passive moisture control systems para residential fuel storage applications que could be adapted para various climatic conditions throughout northern Spain. Research collaboration provided Aurelio con access to professional monitoring equipment could document precisely how his ventilation why moisture barrier systems maintained optimal storage conditions during various weather scenarios, tested performance the passive environmental controls he had incorporated into facility design. Data collected during this research confirmed that system maintained moisture content levels were optimal, but a combustion efficiency during 94% the monitoring period included all seasonal variations and weather extremes who characterized complete annual cycle and mountain environment. International recognition. De Aurelio's work came cuando European Union Rural Development Agency included SU project and case study collection documented innovative approaches. Energy security and rural communities faced challenges related to reliable heating durante climate change conditions were affecting traditional heating methods throughout mountain regions de Europe. EU documentation highlighted particularly cost-effectiveness, replicability, the methods could be implemented using locally available materials, skills who were accessible to rural communities, show needed improved heating security, pero had limited access to expensive commercial solutions who might not be appropriate para remote locations with limited infrastructure support. This Spanish example demonstrates how effective energy security solutions can emerge these to community innovation to addresses specific local challenges using available resources, declared EU Rural Development Coordinator durante presentation the research findings a European conference focused on community resilience y adaptation to climate change impacts. Párrafo 8. Por third anniversary de facility completion. En February 2023, Aurelio had documented cumulative benefits who extended far beyond improved firewood quality. Include enhanced community resilience, reduced heating costs para his family and neighbors who had implemented similar systems, establishment the new standards para rural fuel storage who were being adopted throughout region, como best practices y emergency preparedness, who could protect families durante extreme weather events who were becoming more frequent due to climate change affecting mountain weather patterns throughout northern Spain. His detailed records showed Pooh facility had maintained optimal firewood moisture content durante 3 complete winters, Pooh included some of the most challenging weather conditions in recent memory, providing reliable fuel source Pooh had eliminated heating emergencies. I reduced overall heating costs for approximately 40% compared to previous methods relied on traditional storage was vulnerable to weather-related moisture problems. Documentation to system performance had attracted attention. Desde the commercial building industry, cuando several companies specializing in rural construction began offering Aurelio-style storage buildings, incorporated principles he had developed through practical experimentation, pero could be constructed professionally for families. Wanted benefits de comprehensive moisture protection, pero preferred professional installation rather que DIY construction required significant time and specialized knowledge not all residents possessed. Commercial availability de improved firewood storage systems meant que benefits de innovation could reach broader population or could benefit desde reliable fuel storage, pero might not have resources para implementing systems independently using materials y techniques que required considerable construction expertise. Educational impact. The project culminated cuando Aurelio was invited to participate in rural development programs, que provided training for community leaders throughout Spain and emergency preparedness and climate adaptation strategies, could enhance community resilience durante extreme weather events were becoming more common due to climate change. His presentations emphasized effective emergency preparedness frequently required thinking beyond conventional solutions. Develop comprehensive approaches addressed specific local challenges using creative applications. The available materials and resources were ways to enhanced security whilst remaining economically feasible. For rural families such limited budgets ya emergency preparations could protect you during weather-related emergencies. Elena had assumed significant role in documenting and sharing educational aspects of the project. Creating detailed guides could help other families implement moisture protection systems adapted to specific situations y climatic conditions. Her documentation included not only technical specifications, sino también practical guidance related a daily operation. Maintenance requirements, hay integration con family routines को made systemata useful per real-world applications que convenience y reliability were essential for long-term success. Working as Aurelio on this project taught me that best innovations are those that really improve daily life for families, whilst także providing security durante emergencies. Elena explained, behind interviews where her involvement with educational outreach, who had become important component the project's broader impact. When systemata works well ka, you forget about weather-related worries ka used to be constant concern during winter months. True innovation has achieved its most important purpose. Parafo, Wim. Fourth year the operation provided opportunity a comprehensive evaluation. The long-term performance, što confirmed not only continued effectiveness, no such significant improvements of efficiency ka to system matured, minor adjustments, optimized airflow patterns, moisture control who had evolved naturally over multiple seasonal cycles, should tested all aspects, the environmental control systems show Aurelio had incorporated with facility design. Extended monitoring revealed natural seasoning the building materials had actually improved performance, the wood components stabilized gaps sealed naturally, creating even more effective moisture barriers should provided enhanced protection during extreme weather, should challenged deja well-designed storage systems throughout region. Recognition the broader implications. De Aurelio's work reached national level. Cugato Spanish Ministry of Agriculture y Rural Development commissioned comprehensive study. The community-based approaches of fuel security could enhance rural resilience during climate-related emergencies, were affecting heating reliability of mountain communities throughout country. Study documentation confirmed key approaches developed por Aurelio could be adapted successfully to various climatic conditions y building practices throughout Spain. Providing practical solutions could be implemented was based on locally available materials and skills, bez requiring expensive commercial equipment ili specialized technical expertise, što might not be available of remote communities, where heating security was most critical during severe weather conditions. Legacy the project had evolved beyond individual family benefits, become model for community-wide approaches, emergency preparedness, show integrated individual preparation, sus community support systems. STU could provide mutual assistance during severe weather events or affected multiple families simultaneously. Aurelio had begun collaborating with municipal emergency management officials, developed comprehensive community preparedness plans, or included guidelines for improved fuel storage, community resource sharing during emergencies, coordination the assistance for vulnerable residents, who might need support during extreme weather, could overwhelm individual preparation efforts of well-prepared families. Reflecting on extraordinary journey, or had begun since his frustration about inadequate firewood protection, he had evolved come nationally recognized model for community resilience. Aurelio emphasized the most important aspect of his work was not sophisticated engineering, no practical wisdom, recognized importance de comprehensive preparation for challenges or could be anticipated why prevented through careful planning, the appropriate investment of protective systems. When I built at the storage building, he explained during interviews accompanied national documentation to his project, I just wanted to keep our firewood dry so family would be comfortable during winter. But I learned individual preparation key works well, naturally becomes community resource emergencies. Sharing knowledge about effective techniques helps everyone prepare better the challenges we all face during difficult weather. Seems to be getting more unpredictable cada year. Párrafo 10. En februario de 2024, exactamente 7 godini después que Aurelio completara construcción de su Revolutionary Firewood Storage Facility, Cervera de Pisuerga, celebrated establishment de Centro de Preparación Rural Aurelio Martínez, Community Resource Center dedicated a preserving y disseminating knowledge. The practical emergency preparedness techniques could enhance rural community resilience durante extreme weather. The other challenges were affecting traditional ways. The living trong mountain communities throughout northern Spain, similar environments throughout Europe, families faced comparable challenges related heating security, fuel storage, the emergency preparedness behem increasingly unpredictable weather patterns were resultado de global climate change. Durante opening ceremony, the community center was attended with representatives desde government agencies, academic institutions, rural communities throughout Spain had implemented similar preparedness systems based on Aurelio's innovations. Community leaders emphasized individual innovation, addressed practical problems, effectively naturally evolved broader community resources, ran emergency situations. Kugatu individual preparation became foundation for mutual support. Durant challenging conditions affected entire communities simultaneously. Mayor Garcia declared durante ceremony Aurelio's example had taught entire communities effective emergency preparation means thinking ahead about problems or can be prevented through proper planning, why sharing successful techniques helps everyone become more resilient durante difficult times we all face together. International recognition, the community-centered approach, a emergency preparedness had emerged desde Aurelio's practical innovation, culminated Kugatu United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, featured project, global documentation, the community-based approaches, a climate adaptation. Demonstrated that individual preparation could contribute a broader community resilience durant extreme weather events were affecting vulnerable populations throughout Europe by other regions where traditional heating methods were becoming inadequate to increasingly challenging weather conditions. UN documentation emphasized particularly transferability de techniques could be adapted to various climatic conditions. Building traditions throughout regions, communities needed practical solutions. Hoagie could be implemented using available resources without requiring expensive commercial systems might not be accessible in remote areas. Effective emergency preparedness was most critical. Sa community survival safety. Como he reflected na extraordinary impact his practical solution for firewood storage had achieved with scale far exceeded Yogo original intentions. Aurelio emphasized most important lesson desde his experience was significance de community cooperation of developing sharing practical knowledge. Could help everyone prepare more effectively. The challenges affected entire communities during extreme weather events. My original goal was simply keep our family's firewood dry durante winter storms. He explained Tajden's final interview led documentation the community center establishment. But I learned, when you develop something really works for solving practical problems, sharing knowledge says neighbors, naturally creates stronger community can help everyone during emergencies. Real success means effective preparation becomes community resource benefits everyone. Kugatu difficult conditions test our ability to survive comfortably pres challenging weather we all face together for our mountain environment. Now,